Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I thought today we can have another pros and cons discussion, and I thought a good subject to talk about, since it is now summer, I thought a good subject to talk about would be farmers markets, or specifically shopping at farmers markets. I love our farmers market that we go to every week. We are rather spoiled with our farmers market because, first of all, it's pretty big. There is a wide variety of vendors that sell produce, that sell meat, that sell processed goods like jams and breads. You know, we are definitely very spoiled. We are also spoiled in the fact that it's all year round. So when most farmers markets close up shop, you know, starting in October or maybe even September, we have our farmers market during the winter as well. It does move indoors into a local mall. There's fewer vendors during the winter and obviously fewer produce sellers, but we still get a good variety of people selling stuff that we would love to enjoy from our local farmers during the winter. But yeah, my husband and I go every Saturday because our farmers market is on Saturday in the morning. It's part of our regular grocery shopping. So we go every Saturday and get our local produce from the farmers market first, and then we go to some grocery stores to get anything else that we might need for the week. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of shopping at a farmer's market. We're going to specifically talk about produce at a farmer's market. I know you can get meat and other processed goods at a farmer's market, but I did want to just focus on the produce aspect of it because that is kind of like the main part, the main highlight of a farmer's market is getting local produce from your local farmers. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I do want to throw up a small disclaimer. All the pros and cons that I will be talking about today are going to be my experience with a farmer's market. I know other people have different experiences, and so these pros and cons may be different to you. Just so you know where we are for our farmer's market reference, we are in central Ohio, and we get our farmer's market in a suburb outside of Columbus, which is the capital of Ohio. So that's where we are for the farmer's market. So that will let you know how these pros and cons go. So let's get started. So let's talk about the pros of shopping at a farmer's market first. I would say the first pro of shopping at a farmer's market is that you get to support your local economy directly. So the farmers that come to the farmer's market are the people that are actually growing your food. So they have bills to pay, families to support, everything. And so being able to give them the money directly to support their family is wonderful. There's no middleman. It's not like you're shopping at a supermarket and you're paying for a CEO's salary along with paying the suppliers and then paying the employees. You know, you're supporting the farmer directly. And so it's a wonderful thing to think about. You know, we all have bills to pay, and this is how they make their living. And so just being able to support them directly in that way is just a big added benefit to the whole situation. The second pro that I would like to say is that the quality of produce that you see at a farmer's market is usually very high. The produce that you see at the farmer's market has been most likely picked within the last 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, depending on the produce. And so you know that it's fresh. I know some of the farmers that we purchase from, they harvest the day of. So they're like awake at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning picking produce so it can be at its optimal freshness when it goes to the market. It's crazy that I don't know how these people get sleep, but they wake up and pick the produce and it's fresh at the market that day. And so you can tell by just looking at the produce when you're walking by the stands. Quality is so much better than what you can get at the supermarket. For the most part, produce is usually bigger. The produce is just looks healthier. After shopping at the farmer's market for so long directly from the farmers, I can't buy store-bought produce like supermarket produce anymore because it just tastes different to me, and I know that it's not fresh. I can't go back. You know, if I'm buying produce from the supermarket, it's usually canned or it's frozen. So I just can't buy fresh produce at the market anymore. I do occasionally, but it just doesn't taste the same. And so, when you go to the farmer's market, you know that you're buying quality, which is wonderful. The third pro that I would like to say is that for the quality that you're getting, the cost is quite affordable. And I know everybody has different experiences with this. I know some people say that the farmer's market is more expensive for the quality that they give, but for my experience, our produce is very cost effective. I know I'm getting better quality. I'm most of the time getting bigger produce for how much I'm paying for it, which is wonderful. So yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into the cost. I know that the produce that I'm getting at the farmer's market may be cheaper at the supermarket, but the quality at the supermarket is not there. So you have to factor in the quality and the taste and everything. So for what we are getting at the farmer's market, I am definitely saving money. Another pro that I think is wonderful for shopping at the farmer's market is that you get to know the farmers and their families that grow your food. I love going to the farmer's market because I get to see my farmer friends, so to speak, just to see how they're doing, see how their growing season is going. It's just wonderful to be able to be part of that community. So yeah, just getting to know the people that grow your food is just a wonderful thing that you just don't get at the supermarket. The last pro that I would like to talk about today is that while you're shopping at a farmer's market, it is definitely easier to shop zero waste or at least reduced waste. You can bring your own produce bags so the farmers can fill your bag up with their produce. Produce doesn't have stickers on it that you have to take off like the supermarket. So it is definitely a lot easier to be zero waste, but I also included reduced waste because there is some time where you might need to buy something that's in a plastic bag. For example, we like to buy greens at the farmer's market, and there are a couple vendors that allow you to pack your own bag with lettuce, and then they just charge you by the pound. Last week, those farmers weren't there, and so we ended up having to buy our greens in a plastic bag because, some farmers, they just do that for portion control and just make it easier for them to charge people. And people just to get their produce. So that's why I say reduced waste. We are able to recycle those bags at our local grocery store that takes plastic bags, which is wonderful. But yeah, I did want to mention reduced waste because sometimes, you can't help but buying something in a plastic bag. It is definitely a lot easier than going to a supermarket because going to a supermarket, everything's covered in plastic, styrofoam, what you got, whatever. So it's definitely easier to be environmentally friendly while shopping at the farmer's market. Okay, now for the negative aspects of shopping at a farmer's market, the cons. The first one that I wanted to mention is that farmer's markets, specifically our farmer's market, is only open one day a week for 4 to 5 hours, depending on the season. And for those of you that don't do their grocery shopping on the weekends, this can definitely be rather inconvenient. My husband and I, we just do our grocery shopping on Saturday mornings, so this has become more convenient for us. But for those of you who do things on Saturdays or rather sleep in on Saturday mornings, this can be rather inconvenient for you. But yeah, farmers markets are rather limited in the time that they do, the days that they do them, and the hours that they do. We're spoiled by having our supermarkets open 24/7, to be honest, for some supermarkets. You need to schedule it in going to your local farmer's market. Another con of shopping at a farmer's market is that you're at the mercy of the weather. For the good portion of the season, our farmer's market is outside. We have gone to the farmer's market and dealt with rain, high winds, and then in this winter, we've dealt with driving in a really bad blizzard to go to the farmer's market. It takes a lot for my husband and I to not go to the farmer's market, to be honest. But for those of you that need to drive farther to go to your farmer's market, or even for the farmers themselves, some farmers just can't make it to sell their produce and stuff. So yeah, you're at the mercy of the weather, whether you're selling or shopping at the farmer's market. Don't let that stop you. Bring a poncho, bring an umbrella, put on a coat, and just go. Support your local farmers, even though it's raining. Another con of shopping at a farmer's market is that you can't get certain produce during the times of the years. So at a farmer's market, they're selling seasonal produce. You can't get your green beans all year round, and you can't get your squash all year round, and to my dismay, you cannot get cucumbers all year round. I love cucumbers. I just can't wait for them to, start growing cucumbers and start selling them. It's like, I want cucumbers. That's one thing you cannot get during the winter. But yeah, there will be some produce you can't get all year round at a farmer's market. We're spoiled at our farmer's market. Greens you usually would only get during the summer, but we're able to get it all year round because we have farmers that have greenhouses, so we get greens all year round. So it really depends on your farmer's market, whether they have greenhouses, if you're able to get certain types of produce all year round. But that is definitely a con, not being able to get your cucumbers in the dead of winter. But you can see that as a pro because you know that you're getting your nutrient-dense foods during the times that they're actually meant to be grown. So yeah. Another con of shopping at a farmer's market, especially since it's only for a few hours on one day a week, is that it can be really crowded and super busy because farmers markets are very, very popular. People love getting their fresh produce or getting their meat from a certain farmer or stuff like that, or specifically for our farmers market, getting their fruit from local farms. So there's always a line for peaches, strawberries, and blueberries. Everybody loves their fruit. So if you're gonna go to a farmer's market, you go early. And my husband and I, we always try to get there right when they open, so we get all of our shopping done before it gets super busy. So yeah, there are ways to go around it, but if you're not wanting to get up super early, you're gonna have to fight the crowds. And the last one that I do want to mention, the last negative aspect of shopping at a farmer's market is that you do need to take cash with you. There are many vendors that just take cash only. I know this trend is definitely changing over the years. Many of our vendors are now taking credit cards. It's kind of inconvenient carrying cash around. You have to go to the ATM. That can be a negative aspect for people that just pay with card most of the time. So yeah, you do need to make sure you take some cash with you, and you really should, because credit card fees is just, for me, owning my own business, credit card fees are just like, they just kill you sometimes. So just support them by paying with cash so they don't have to worry about those pesky credit card fees for just being able to process payments at a farmer's market. Well, those are all the pros and cons that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this discussion of the pros and cons of shopping at a farmer's market. I know there's definitely a lot more things to discuss, but I just definitely wanted to limit it to 5 like I did in the previous video, so this video is not like super long. Like I said before, these pros and cons are based off of my experience shopping at a farmer's market. I know those of you watching may have different experiences with shopping at a farmer's market. If you do and you would like to share them, please comment below and let us know your experiences with shopping at the farmer's market. Tell us your pros and cons, or if your pros and cons are different compared to mine. And if you're comfortable, do mention where you are, where you're shopping at your farmer's market, so people know for reference. Like I stated, we're in Central Ohio, and I know it's different in other states and other sections of the country. So yeah, definitely share your experiences with shopping at a farmer's market so other people can learn from your experiences and benefit from your experiences as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, push that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, push that subscribe button. We would definitely appreciate it. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.